episode of the Coffee Q&A, your daily dose of coffee Q&A here in the OnoCoffee channel. I'm Jay, your host, and if you're just joining for the very first time, this is the Coffee Q&A, where we come and talk to you about coffee issues and whatever's on our minds, most Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, so it's nearly daily. Sometimes we're not able to do it, but you know, that's how it goes. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm wearing my purple top today, my purple Patagonia pullover, and this thing is a pullover that I bought in the 80s. Can you believe that? Kent, how are you? So I'm able to fit back into old clothes. It's very strange. I'm used to like having to buy new clothes and going up in the scale rather than being able to go back to old clothes. So kind of interesting. All right, so today I wanted to, if you happened to join us last night, Baku, how are you, on the Coffee and Cigars live stream on the Ono Live channel, I made a coffee. So on that show, we do coffee and cigars, mostly cigars, but a little bit of coffee. And that all started because when we started that show, it was kind of during the COVID era, and just wanted a way to connect with friends and people just to have cigars. Power Plant, how are you doing? And since it was on this channel, like you can find the early episodes of that live stream on this, still on the archives of this channel. I had to make it about coffee because, you know, it's the Ono Coffee channel. We'd be kind of like, well, thank you, Rusty. Swan, yeah, excellent. But, so we started doing here, but then, you know, I decided to move it to a separate channel because, you know, there's, you know, YouTube and cigars can be a little bit strange, but the tie was always coffee and cigars because it was on the Ono Coffee channel. So last night we were I brought the coffee we made last night was this coffee, the Bounty Oasis from Roasting House. A coffee that we featured, Mom, good morning to you, a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, that I got from some friends who own Roasting House in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They were in Houston for the trade show, ran into them, and they gave me this bag. Still feels like not so long ago. You mean this? Yeah, totally. Oh, I mean, it's only been, oh gosh, it's been a month, hasn't it? Good morning to you, Naomi. But I hadn't, since the time that we drank it or tasted it on the show, I haven't touched it until last night. And I was thinking I should get something. We had this cigar last night from from a place called Stolen Thrones, which is a cigar company based down in Yorktown, Virginia, just outside of Virginia Beach. And the owner there, Lee, is from Baltimore originally. And so he created a cigar to commemorate the 150th running of the Preakness, which happened last weekend. A horse named Journalism won that race. But I just thought, you know, it should be an interesting cigar, so let me get that interesting coffee, something that's going to be a little bit more expressive in different ways. And so we used it, and I was really, you know, when we tried it before, I liked it, but I thought it was so much better now a month later. Like it has improved, so I thought, let's do another one today. And then we will talk about one of the things that I really enjoy. Power Plant says that why YouTube is censoring comments. What did you put now that you have? What are you saying that the YouTube is censoring? We've been having this. We've been experiencing this thing with Power Plant, and I don't know why it is. Like he messaged me the other day after the stream, and he was like, "Well, this is what I said," because evidently he's putting up comments and they're just not coming up. They're not coming up for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly why. Typically, if there are comments that YouTube has questions about or wants me to review, it'll actually give me a little thing here that says, "Do you there's a hidden comment. Do you want to show it or delete it, or see it and then show it?" And then so I don't know why that's happening. And if any of you ever put comments in, I do try to read every comment that comes across. Some days I'm not as good as it as at others, but if I do that and I don't mention it, then I'm mentioning other people's. Like there's one time where it was just so busy that I just wasn't able to keep up. But if I am keeping up with it, and you notice that I haven't noted something that you might have commented on, let me know, because I don't know I don't know if there's actually something that's happening, and I haven't had the chance to actually look into like do a Google search on it to see like does YouTube quash comments for whatever reason. PowerPoint says I said before that the big scary time was 5 years ago in regards to your start of the I wonder why it lets that now through. I don't know, but I wonder if it could be a connectivity thing. Like sometimes maybe if you're losing connectivity, I have no idea. I'm only guessing. I can only guess. But yeah, the 5 years ago. Oh, you mean that's what you said when? Was that what you're saying? Still feels like not long ago. Oh, you meant with the what that was with for COVID. Yeah, COVID. Naomi says I've never had mine censored. I don't know. Maybe YouTube realizes that the power plant has a lot of like, you know, snarky comments at times, which I don't mind. I don't mind snarkiness. I like it. I like it. You know, that's how really friends talks and stuff like that. So, power plant says I don't think I think they don't like anything controversial. That could be. I mean, we are in more sensitive times here in the United States, and you know, since YouTube is based here in the United States, I think a lot of policies will be fueled by that. Russell, good morning to you. Naomi says, does it tell you it's censoring, or you just don't see? I think it's better if he just doesn't see it posted, because it's not telling me anything. And a lot of times when questionable comments do come up, it will come up. It'll give me the option. And Mom says some words get flagged, and it could be that it could be that. I mean, but I think the flag stuff is, you know, when you talk a lot more profane rather than just making, you know, quirky comments or whatever. But anyway, so we're going to, the page says there's a way you can switch from top comments to all comments, and that's usually all it is. Oh, is there a way to do that here now? Let me see. Well, this thing that we're talking about. Okay, here it is. There's something here that says I can chat. I clicked on this thing. It says top chat, live chat, super chat, no chat. So I can. Top chat means some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. Live chat, all messages are visible. Super chat, member and super chat messages only. And then none, hide all chat messages. I will choose live chat. I thought we had live chat. There we go. Welcome to live chat. Welcome. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Peter says, Swadee Kab. Swadee Kab to you, man. So good to see you. PowerPoint says, I will get creative with spelling. I think maybe that's what YouTube wants you to do. Be more creative, you know, be more, how can you be more eloquent in your writing and your posting to get your point across? Is mine set to top match? Okay, gotcha. I think that, you know, and on your guys' end, you should set it to however you want, but I personally like to see everything if I can. That way, you know, because otherwise I don't want to miss something that may be important, you know, something like that. All right, so here's the anaerobic natural Colombian hybrid, Colombian heirloom varietals. Oh, Busa! Gosh, man. That's very kind, man. That's very kind. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Naomi says, and it was already set that way. I didn't choose it. Okay, gotcha. So these are heirloom varietals, and 1790 to 2,100 meters or something like that above sea level. But I was really surprised at how much I liked it last night. So let's get into it. We're going to go back and using what we've been using lately, this Kogo. I'm trying to use it more just to get a better feel for it, understand it more, because maybe I'll make a video about it. I say that, but making videos is actually quite difficult. Which in some ways why I like this whole, like, let's do a live stream, because it's like, whoa, live stream seems so much easier. All right, so we're back with the what do you call it? This. Oh, there's a lot of fines now in the bottom here. There's a lot of fines left over from last night and the day before. Let me just knocking out everything here so it's nice and clean. Okay. Make sure there's nothing left in here. Oh, there's a little bit. I'm making a mess. I'm really quite anal, right? Like, You guys have Kerrygold. Here in America, there's this brand of butter called Kerrygold. It's actually from Ireland. Really nice butter. Good morning to you, Dev. And they have these tubs, and they squirt them in the tub, and it kind of makes this bulbous thing. And like, I want my tub of butter to be scraped with a knife, with a smooth knife, because I want smooth surfaces, and I want it to be even, right? Other people like to dig into it with serrated knives or whatever knives or spoons, and they got gouges, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Who are these animals that I must be subjected to? I really have this OCD thing, like even cutting tape. You know, masking tape, when we put labels, I want to cut it with the scissors. I can't tear it off. It just makes me bonkers. Naomi says, I used to really like Kerrygold back in the day, but no, because you're now vegan, right? So you don't like it anymore. Gotcha. I was going to say, why did it change? I also like there's a plug, right? No, there's another one. Sanissigny, I think it's called, a French one. Sounds more persnickety than other. I mean, well, I'm more persnickety than. You can ask my staff. They know that I'm very persnickety. I'm all like we teach them. You know, you have to cut the masking tape with scissors. And you know, after a while, they get into it. You know, especially when you correct them. It's always like gentle correction, like, oh, this is how we do it here. If you don't want to cut the, I never said this, but I was just thinking now that, you know, maybe I might say something to them like, you know, this is how we do it here. We leave the tearing of the tape to like our competitors or, you know, some other lesser shops. Something like that. I never did say that, though. I never said it. All right, we're grinding. You know, I'm feeling better slowly about hand grinding, but it still is coming apart. So it's a little bit problematic in that respect. How do you guys like this horizontal format? Now, I'm using the phone today, and the last couple of days I've been doing this horizontally. Do you like this better, or do you like the vertical better? It depends. Like sometimes it's easier to do the vertical. I personally have a preference for horizontal, mainly because that's how I believe photography and video should be. Like I'm not totally against vertical anymore. I used to be totally against vertical. Busa says that Kerrygold is all I used to bake with. Oh, you are a fancy baker, Kerrygold baking. I bet it's delicious, but fancy. Peppermint says, when you meet people with OCD, they are suffering, not quirky like a you. Okay, all right, you're right. Okay, maybe I'm just quirky. Peppermint says 6 of one, half dozen of the other. All right, OCD. See, now you're getting creative with your spelling here. Okay, let's see. What do we need to do? Okay, we need our brewing device and our setup here, and then we need our papers, Kogu papers. Again, I think I don't know if I said this on which, maybe I said it in both live streams, but no, for sure, I guess I said yesterday. But again, I'm not thinking that Kogu's got anything truly revolutionary as far as their materials. But I think so far it's been very nice stuff. You know, it's very nice. Oh yeah, now we need to see the part of me that's kind of fanatical is that like that irritates me. This whole thing where it pops up like this and falls over, it's like, okay, now we have to shake it, right? Because it's double, so we can sift out the fines. I think that helped yesterday. Okay, we shook it up. How much fines? Oh, wow. There's quite a lot of fines in there. Look at that. That's quite a robust Good, good. All right, now shake, shake, shake. This is going back with the Zojirushi. I kind of like this now. I'm liking it a lot. Like I said, yeah, I pointed out yesterday. This Zojirushi, the Tough Slim, has these like little like spouts. You press the red button, it opens, and there's a tab here in the back. This is what I forgot to show you yesterday. I showed this last night, but this is what I forgot to do yesterday. To close it, you don't do this, right? You just do this. So you can be like, working the line or doing whatever you want, and just do your thing, and right? You don't have to do anything, just this. Kind of nice, kind of nice. And the nice thing is that, let me put this down here so that we can see better. Get rid of this riser. Doot, 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 doot. Now, we can pour. And it looks like we can get a pretty fine stream if you want to. It's a matter of just trying to, I think it's just going to be a matter of practicing with it to learning the balance, because the whole balance, of course, with this is very different, right? You've got all the liquid in here, so you got liquid rolling back and forth like this instead of being at the bottom, pooling at the bottom of a kettle. So you just need to figure out I'm gonna have to figure out how to control it. So you can do nice pouring. Russell says, my wife has OCD, but after she married me and had 3 messy kids, she gave up. I don't think she gave up. I think she's just secretly dying inside. You should ask her. Don't ask her. Don't ask her. You don't want to open that. You don't want to open that up. And that's one way to cure it, says Naomi. No bloom is set. It's no bloom. It's not. It's got a little bit of bloom. Well, I know you want that huge, big bloom, but you don't. I don't know. Like, I think that you don't really necessarily want to have that big bloom, because what does the big bloom show us? The big bloom shows us a lot of CO2 remains. And that's due to, and that CO2 is due to proximity to the roasting date, right? So the farther you get from the roasting date, and this was roasted when? April something. April 13th. So it roasted April 13th. So we're pretty far from the roasting date. So, but I think, what are we really looking for when it comes to coffee, right? We're looking for flavor, right? Flavor experience. Pleasurable hedonism is what we're looking for. I don't think we need to be too concerned about bloom. I know everybody talks about bloom. I know you're talking about bloom. Using my, Mark says, using your other hand as a fulcrum. Yeah, because it's either this, trying to balance this like poorly. Well, I guess I could do that. Or use the fulcrum. Maybe I'm just, I could be like a scientist, Muffin, Power Plant says muffin tops or, yeah. I don't know where the muffin tops is coming from, but I said last night, and I didn't change anything, but I thought last night it brewed a little bit slowly, so I'm thinking maybe it is still. Power Plant says carbon dioxide tastes like freedom. And Peter says CO2 is carbonic acid perfection. It's all about the freedom now. It's all about the freedom. Freedom. This is freedom coffee. Yeah, definitely it's slow. I think it's slow. Nobody says I had 15 grams of it I really need to put my glasses on. Hold on a second. of light roast coffee. I forgot about it. I ended up using it a couple of days ago, and I think it tasted its best, but it was like 3 months old. Whoops. Maybe I don't have taste. No, I think, here's the thing. I think that, myself and my cohorts in the business have spent the past 20 years talking about fresh coffee, right? Releasing the gas. But, the more that I've been doing this, and the more that I've been tasting coffees that would be considered old, the less I'm convinced that, we're really, why didn't I put it here? I put it here. That maybe you can see, maybe that's a better angle. The less I'm being convinced that, everything must be consumed within 2 weeks of roasting. Like, I think this coffee last night was demonstrably better than this coffee when we did it a couple weeks ago, however many weeks ago it was. A month ago. It's a month ago, right? We're at the 22nd or 23rd of March. Oh yeah, almost a month. Because a month ago I was in Houston, I think, or on the way to Houston, something like that. Yeah, see, this is taking a long time. We're gonna go faster. All right, next one, I'm gonna maybe I'll coarsen the grind right now. Let's look at the grind coarsening. I'm gonna open that up. I think just by doing that is coarsening the grind. Okay, good. Well, that was easy. This felt like the longest pour, and it is. It really is. It's like the pour that never ends. That Taylor Swift song is in my mind. What is that one? The one that goes, and I knew you were trouble when you walked in. There you go. There's some singing for you guys, right? I don't know why that's in my mind. Like, that suddenly is in the back of my mind. Like, now I want to go watch a Taylor Swift video. All right, so while this is brewing slowly, now it's going to be over extracted. Who knows what's going to happen? The title of this live stream is about my favorite accompaniment, and I wanted to go back, since we're using Saudi coffee, or coffee from a roaster in Saudi Arabia, roasting house in Riyadh. Okay, this was gifted to me by the owners, but not for the channel, but just for me. I don't know what that does. That make a difference? I don't even know. Power Plant, you are a resident ethics standard person. Oh no. Oh no. Time keeps on slipping. There, see, we're gonna have more singing. We're gonna have more singing now. Okay, a little bit more, because we want to have our 300 grams. And we're almost there, 300 grams. Some years ago, the Norwegian Brewers Cup says where'd it go? Winner used a light roast coffee that was 8 months off roast. Oh, see, there's all kinds of possibilities for old coffee. Now, when we did Dave says, I'm about to brew the taxi blend from Loquat. Oh, nice, 50% Brazil, Wanabara natural, and 50% Ethiopia Worka Nensebo natural. Oh, nice, dude, nice. Let us know how it tastes. So when we did the episode where we looked at the Arabic coffee, the Gaho Arabia, we used some dates to go along with that. And I mentioned that, there was something that people turned me on to in Power Plant says, Loquat are the bee's knees. I've had Loquat. I can't remember what my reaction was to it. But I think Loquat is more, it's kind of like in a, good morning, Amniel. It's more of like in the lychee family. Is that right? Can I remember correctly? I could be totally remembering wrong. But like I said, when we were doing the Gaho Arabia, we were eating dates. Omniel's asking, did I receive the samples? Actually, that's going to be part of the show later. So the answer is yes. And so I brought the dates back because I mentioned then that, this woman in Saudi Arabia turned me on to this idea of tahini and dates. And I was like, okay, that's weird. But I'm gonna, and you might sit there and think tahini and dates, that sounds disgusting. And maybe it is. But Peter says, I only had some sour loquats. I don't know. I don't remember whether the loquats that I had were sour or not. I'm just thinking that if I remember correctly, loquats are have that type of lychee meat, that pulpy, that white pulpy, whatever. Not pulpy, but you know, the same. Well, I don't even know. I'm not smart enough to know how to describe that. Okay, so here's our coffee brew. We're brewing up now. I'm going to put it in my thermal mug. Because this, unfortunately, this Kogu, while it is a nice and unbreakable, it doesn't really hold temperature well. Oh yeah, see, this is a problem. Okay, so last night, clean, sweet, this kind of like raspberry fruitish-y kind of thing. Today, slower brew, longer brew, a little bit more bitterness. I'm not as psyched for this cup as I was with last night's cup. Last night's cup was totally superior. Now I'm disappointed. Now we spent this last 20 minutes making this cup, and it's just, it's not what it could have been. It's not what it was. Omnio says Nicoletti is in the house. We're gonna be getting into that in a moment. Mark says that tahini and dates sounds awesome, creamy, sweet as well. So years ago, I was in Riyadh and walking around the trade show before we judge it, I came across this company called Kingdom Dates. Kingdom Dates is this date company. Like, dates are super popular in the Middle East. Like, the Arab people are wildly crazy for dates, and they have so many varieties. Like, we're just used to like going and finding California. What's the popular brand for the popular one from California? You know, we find some things here, and it's okay. They're good. They're fine. They're fine. But when you go to places like Batil in the United Arab Emirates, or you go to other places like Kingdom Dates, their stores, there's a whole wide range of dates. And then you talk to I talked to my Saudi friends, and he's like, if you want the best dates, you must come to my farm. It's like, what? My family has a farm for dates. I was like, what? Really? You have date farms? Who are these people? And you have like stallions and horses at this farm too? It's a whole different world. But anyway, this woman, she's like, have you tried tahini and dates? And I was like, oh, that's weird. Why would I try that? That sounds disgusting. I don't know why I think it's disgusting. I just thought that was just freaky, right? But she said, why don't you give it a try? I was like, well, I'm thinking, you do look beautiful, right? Because she's wearing the full niqab, so like, all you see is the eyes. And she's like, yes, I will try that. I'm easily led astray by those kind of things. And so she lets me try this, and it's amazing. Like, it's amazing. And so we're going to use our Deglet Noor pitted dates. Now, I do think, like olives, I do think that having the seed in the date gives it a little bit something more. It's more messy. It's also kind of like in the Middle East, I think nobody cares, right? You're just getting rid of your chewed up seeds and just putting them on something, and nobody really seems to mind. To me, I find it to be like, I'm all like embarrassed about the pile of like seeds. Like especially when they get to be like that, you're like, oh, maybe I'll put these in my pocket. And then I'll throw them away. I'll scatter them across the desert as we're driving around. But anyway, so here it is. I think I mentioned this during the stream, during the Gawa stream, but I just didn't know where it was, so I had to dig around the house for it. So here it is. Here is the tahini, excellent tahina from Kingdom Dates. As you can see, Kingdom Dates here, chemical-free, 100% organic. Now, like a natural peanut butter, this will separate. So when I found it, it'd been hiding in a closet. It had separated heavily, like the tahina, the nut was down here, and it was all oil. So I had to sit there for like half an hour, just shaking it to recombine. Doing this, and when you're, riding in a train and somebody drives by you, or you're in the car and you're doing this while they drive by you, and people look and they're like, "What is that guy doing?" You're like, "Hey, I've got my tahina." Right? That's probably NSFW. So if you're interested in checking it out, like I don't think they ship to America, but this is Kingdom Dates, and you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Oh, they're on YouTube. I'm gonna have to tag them on this to show them. So I'm gonna tag this later so that maybe they'll see it. And Kingdom Dates, if you see this, these are awesome. This is an awesome idea. Probably not started by Kingdom Dates, but this is probably something that they do in Saudi Arabia, generally speaking. But it's awesome. Well, let me go back to it. Now, here's the interesting thing that I thought. Like, I grew up in America, right? So Americans, when you grow up in America as a child, especially like in the 70s and 80s, a big part of your diet is what we call peanut butter and jelly. So there's peanut butter and grape jelly, and you have that on white bread and you eat that. And that's kind of a big thing here. But when you go outside the United States, the idea of peanut butter is like almost unheard of or disgusting to people, right? They're like, "What are you talking about? Peanuts? You're putting that on bread and you're eating it? Well, why would you do that? That's dumb." And so it's kind of foreign to most people. But I tell you what, when I first tried this is like Middle Eastern peanut butter and jelly. The flavors are remarkably similar. So the enjoyment, the pleasure is remarkably similar. So I would highly suggest that you run out to your Middle Eastern store and go to the Middle Eastern store. Don't get the Greek one. Get the one from the Middle Eastern store, because I think there's going to be a difference. I don't know what the difference is, but I think the way they roast it, like this is like you see tahini at the stores, like the Greek shops, and they're a lot whiter. They're like whiter than this. This is a little more brown, so I think they're roasting it, so it's a little bit more roast happening to it. So consider that. Oh, we gotta go back more. Mark says creamy sweetness. Yes, absolutely. Proudplan says dates, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. Think about it as TOOT. M0 says dates are as delicious as figs. Figs are beautiful too. Same with some of the tropical-like fish in Hawaii, and iridescently blue fish. Oh, I'm not familiar with that fish. Omniel sends his greetings to everyone. Peter says, if you eat figs, chances are you're eating one. Great. And then figs are not vegan. Okay, we got to remember that. Figs are not vegan. Oh, is that because they're wasps that climb into it and they die and they get absorbed into the mush when they make the fig Newtons? Oh, see, I'm not even thinking of figs. I'm only thinking of fig Newtons. And I think fig Newtons are going to be vegan. Like, if I was a vegan, I would probably designate fig Newtons to be vegan. Like, M0 says, Peter, definitely, isn't that both crazy but also, yes. Powerplant says the best dates don't get, that's very true. Like the best dates that I've had, I had to buy in country and not smuggle it, nobody's trying to prevent you from bringing dates to America, but I had to bring them with me, and I was like, oh. Like, there's this one called the Prophet's Dates, which I think is called Ajwa dates, little black dates. And evidently this date is the date that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, loved to eat. Evidently this is his date. Like, if the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would have made a date company, this would be his date. Like, he would be like the Jay-Z of, this is the Jay-Z of dates, right? Peter says, I don't care, I eat anything meat. Agreed. Naomi wants to know, does the wasp dissolve in there? Well, there's so much stuff that dissolves in our food. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about little wasps. As long as you're not getting stuck with that, right? Peter says, no, it adds to the taste. And maybe that's why you get that little crunchy texture in the fig Newtons. Powerplant says, wheat flour has lots of dead animals chopped in it. We're back to the whole, like, harvesting dead animals and chopping them up in a harvester. Canned food has bugs and hairs in it. Not my canned food. I'm not putting any bugs in it. Phil in the Bronx with us. What's going on? Should be pretty thick. Yes, the sesame oil was, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's nice. This one is fairly runny. I don't know why, but it's good because it's in a squeeze bottle, so it's good for squeezing out. Peter says, Halva is my favorite tea. Oh, Halva is good. I can't say that's bad. Phil DeBlanc says that you can find it in any Mediterranean Eastern. But I think that you just got to, well, I think just like Jif and Skippy, there's going to be some differences between the different brands. And you can't buy this in America. This is just not even available in America, so there's nothing to do about it. But Kingdom Dates, if you can get it. I wish they were on Amazon. There's a lot of things in Saudi Arabia that I wish they had here, like this particular brand of tea that I really enjoy. They don't sell it in America, and I can't seem to get it. I should have called the guys and had them bring some. Powerplant says that generally the tahini sold in the U.S. supermarket is horrid and oxidized, unfortunately. Phil says that you can also make a combo of carob molasses and tahini and just a little combining mix, and you can have, ooh, that sounds very nice too. Mark says, is there such thing as a date jam, tahini and date jam on toast? Oh, there actually is some. So I have it somewhere in the house, and it's, I buried it. I have no idea where, but there's this type of date, like, you know, these dates, let me pull these out, right? So these dates, you know, they're kind of like this, but the other dates that I have are kind of like mushy, and they're in this like sealed, hermetically sealed package because they're all like sticky together. So that's, I bet if you took that and you put that in like a food processor and processed it, I bet that would be really similar to the date jam you're talking about. And I think dates, I don't see why you couldn't take like a bag of this. Because somehow get fresh dates, put it into a pot, maybe add water, sugar. I don't know if you need it. Well, yeah, add sugar and then boil it like you would like regular jam. I think that would probably work pretty darn well. I'm guessing. I totally don't know. But there must be a date jam. Phil says, oxidized, they are sealed, and their oil should preserve them very well. Ah, gotcha. I mean, this was very well. I mean, this is a couple years old now. Peter says, I used to think tahini comes from Tahiti. Might as well tell them that. They don't know the difference. Phil, PowerPoint says, the ones I've tried have been very low quality. They sell them at the regular atmosphere, not vacuum, so they're air trapped in the bottle. Oh, gotcha. Phil says, in the city, the consumption is pretty high, and we get pretty good fresh tahini. Oh, okay. I mean, if you're going through it well, then there's really not to worry about it. PowerPoint says, I lived in South Korea for a long time and fell in love with the high-quality cold sesame oil they have there. Ooh. The quality of sesame oil in South Korea is crazy. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why they're so into it. How do they utilize it? Is it just really for cooking, or is it, you know, are they using it? Like, I use it as a seasoning, especially for ahi poke. The PowerPoint says, I had some gift dates from Takashimaya that were individually wrapped in protective diapers. Wow, as expected. Wow, nice. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our... Phil says, another thing I like is black sesame. Oh, yeah, that. Oh, the Chinese desserts are very nice like that. Okay, so now we've got our dates. What you're going to do is you're going to take your tahini. And I like it this way because I think it's a little bit nicer, because it's a little bit smoother. Naomi says, I tried a Bakri date and it was the best. Oh, I haven't tried that one. So see how it just kind of pours on here? Oh, baby. That with the coffee. So remember I said that this coffee, because of the brewing that we did to it today, took longer. But, oh man, that is so nice. So nice. Okay, so let's get a little bit of a close-up. Here is our date. Tahini sauce on top. And you could put as much or as little as you want. Now this particular one is pretty runny, so it's going, it's like falling, so you kind of gotta be fast with it. And in this particular case, it's nice that these are pitted, so you don't have to like worry about battling with the pit or biting into them. Does the coffee taste better cool? Asked Mark. It is a little bit better. It is a little bit better. It is a little more enjoyable. Nobody says I'd stuff that with chunky peanut. Well, I mean, that's the thing. This is essentially peanut butter and jelly. Like, okay, and here, we can crack it open since these are pitted, right? So let's see. Or we can tear it open a little bit. So we get little boats of tahini. Now we can really fill it. Oops. I can put more. I can put a lot more. Oh yeah, there's a whole chuck ton. I think dates and nuts are really a great way to go because, you know, it's a nice combination. Like I said, there's a company called Bateel, B-A-T-E-E-L, Bateel, out of the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and I would get to go to them in Dubai, and they're really popular for stuffed dates. So they take the dates and they put like nuts in them, and they're so good, like nuts, dates, sukari dates with like hazelnuts. Oh gosh, I do like that. So I think the world, like while the world looks at America and thinks, okay, you guys are freaky, freedom-loving people that eat strange foods like peanut butter and jelly, I think the world eats very similar. Like this is very peanut butter and jelly-ish. It's in that family, so we can tear it open. Oh, I like this idea. I mean, so it is better to have, look at that. Look how much I can fit in there. Oh. So nice, so nice. Phil says, I'm having some Groundworks Black Gold drip myself. Oh, nice. And Peter's having, it says put tahini in milk and texture for, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we can do some dates and tahini latte. Oh, dates and tahini latte, maybe next week. PowerPoint says, dates are natural caramel. I love them, but tropical fruit eaten in the tropics is the ultimate. Oh, that's no doubt about that, man. No doubt about that. Like, when I lived in Honolulu, like, we would get fresh fruit from the trees from my friend. Well, I lived in an apartment, so I didn't have any trees to get some, but like, man, so good. So good. Phil says, maybe the outer part of a nutmeg might work for, and even as a date substitute. I'm not sure what we are in that. Peter says, saw this on TikTok, stuffed peanut butter in dates. Oh, that's a good idea. Dip it in chocolate. Oh. I don't have any of that handy. Like, I don't actually have any peanut butter. I have to go buy peanut butter. Those of you who are in America, are you a Jif or Skippy peanut butter person? And are you a smooth or chunky? I'm a Skippy chunky kind of guy. Like, I like chunky. I love chunky. I like texture. That's the thing. You know me, I love textures. PowerPoint says, in South Korea, they also have dried persimmon. They're amazing. Ooh, air dried for a month, hand massaged. They get a natural white haze on them. Where are you going away? It fades away from the screen. So good. Some temples hang dry thousands of them. Oh, that sounds amazing. Paige says, I'm not a big fan of peanut butter. I get it. I know people aren't. Phil says that Justin peanut butter is good, or he makes his own nut butter. Oh, that's hardcore. That's hardcore. I've thought about that, but I've just never been that hard. I just never went to that extreme. Especially if you buy this. All right, now, one of the things that on the LS, was if I had received his package. So he sent me a message last week, and he was like, "Hey man, I got some coffees, and I don't think I like the way they tasted. Would you mind trying them and giving me your thoughts?" And I was like, "Sure." So he sent it to me. This nice package. And let's open up and see what we got. We're gonna do this next week on one of the live streams, maybe like Tuesday. And so pull tab to open. Oh, these mail people have such nice, like, oh, they're all vacuum sealed. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so he's got them unlabeled. Numbered 1, 2, and 3. There are 80 grams or so of each one. Okay, that's fine. Now, evidently, these are espresso beans. O'Neill, if you're still with me, let me know. But these are espresso beans, from my understanding, from what I remember from the message. And he thought they taste. I mean, I think he thought one of them tasted weird. Wanted to see what I thought, so. And asked me if I would do it on one of the live streams. I was like, yeah, no problem. So, one of the things that I have an issue, well, one of the things that I will have an issue with is that, unlike you guys at home, I don't really have a single dose espresso grinder. So for me to grind espresso is a little bit different, a little bit more difficult to do small batches like this. So I'm wondering, like, should we, and one of my concern is that if I was to put it in the Mazzer, which I have no real issue doing, and we get into a situation where we have to adjust the grind setting, do we need, I might plow through it fairly quickly, right? This is at 80 grams, we're talking like 4 pulls. Or perhaps what we'll do is we'll take maybe 13 grams and do like a cupping tasting of this. O'Neill says, I can only be present on the lives on Mondays and Fridays, then we will wait till Friday so you can be here to share in the discussion. Powerplant says, O2, does the O Gen 2 do, I mean, will that do, I mean, I've never tried it as an espresso grinder. I've only used it for pour, but if you guys say that it will work, I mean, we can go for it. I mean, I have no compunction about not doing that. But I'm wondering, should we also do, maybe what we'll do is, if the O Gen 2 will work, then we can use that as a grinder for the espresso. But I think I would like to also pull some cupping samples because our standard cupping sample is like 13 grams. So we could lower that if we want to 10 grams. But let's say this is one bag of 80 grams. We can do one 13-gram sample, 13-gram portion for a cup sample, and then use the rest to grind as espresso to see how it performs. So, okay, we'll do that. So I'm glad you were here today, O'Neill, to tell me, because I might have just gone ahead and done like on a Tuesday or something, and you would not be able to join us. And so this is better. So next Friday we will do these coffees. Peter says you do have a single dose. Okay, that's crazy. You people are crazy. Phil says, invite Hoon over with a couple grams. I should go there. I haven't talked to Hoon since we all were in Houston. It's kind of funny because there was one time, so one of my good friends is now the head of the Cup of Excellence, Erwin Mirisch. So I ran into Erwin at their booth.